CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, the most powerful intelligence organization ever built, and the one that will never confirm what it has actually done. It was created in 1947 under President Harry Truman after Pearl Harbor made one thing impossible to ignore. The United States had no system for knowing what its enemies were planning before they acted. Truman signed the National Security Act. The agency was born with a single purpose: make sure that never happens again. What it became was something larger. During the Cold War, the CIA didn't just collect intelligence, it rewrote governments. Iran, 1953. Guatemala, 1954. Chile, 1973. In each case, a leader Washington considered dangerous was removed. In each case, the agency's role took decades to surface. In some cases, it still hasn't. Their analysts spent 10 years tracking a single courier. That courier led them to a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. On the night of May 2, 2011, a team went in. Osama bin Laden was killed. The CIA never officially confirmed how long they had known where he was. In 2003, their intelligence assessments told the world that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction. That intelligence was wrong. The invasion that followed lasted 8 years. Both of those things are true. Both of those things are the CIA. There is no final accounting of what this agency has done, is doing, or intends to do. That is not a failure of transparency. That is the point. MI6, Secret Intelligence Service. The British call it SIS. The rest of the world calls it MI6. James Bond made it famous. The real version is harder to find and considerably more dangerous. It was established in 1909, making it one of the oldest foreign intelligence services still in operation. Its original mandate was simple: monitor German naval expansion in the years before World War I. What it evolved into over the following century was a global human intelligence network with reach into some of the most closed governments on Earth. MI6 specializes in one thing above everything else: people. Where the NSA intercepts signals and the CIA increasingly relies on technology, MI6 builds human sources. Officers spend years, sometimes decades, cultivating relationships inside foreign governments, militaries, and criminal organizations. The goal is not to hack a system. The goal is to own the person who runs it. During the Cold War, MI6 ran some of the most significant double-agent operations in history. The Cambridge Five of 5 British intelligence officers who had been secretly working for the Soviet Union since the 1930s represented the agency's greatest failure. What came after, as MI6 systematically rebuilt its counterintelligence apparatus, represented something closer to its true capability. In 1994, MI6 became the first British intelligence agency to be officially acknowledged by its own government. For 85 years, it had operated without legal foundation, without public mandate, and without any formal confirmation that it existed at all. It did not need confirmation to function. That is precisely the point. Mossad, Institute for Intelligence and Special Operations. Every intelligence agency in the world collects information. The Mossad collects information and then it acts on it anywhere on Earth, against anyone it considers a threat to the state of Israel without asking permission. It was founded in 1949, 1 year after Israeli independence, when it became clear that a nation surrounded by hostile states and with no margin for strategic error could not afford conventional intelligence failures. The Mossad was built on a single premise: Israel will not wait to be hit. It will know first, and it will move first. Their most famous operation took place in 1960. Adolf Eichmann, one of the principal architects of the Holocaust, had been living under a false identity in Buenos Aires for 15 years. A Mossad team located him, surveilled him for weeks, abducted him from the street, and transported him to Israel to stand trial. He was convicted and executed in 1962. The operation was conducted entirely on foreign soil, without the knowledge or cooperation of the Argentine government. During the 1970s, following the murder of 11 Israeli athletes at the 1972 Munich Olympics, the Mossad launched Operation Wrath of God, a decade-long campaign to locate and kill every individual involved in the planning of the attack. Most of them were found. They are believed to have assassinated multiple Iranian nuclear scientists between 2010 and 2012. Israel has never confirmed this. They are believed to have been behind the Stuxnet cyber attack that destroyed Iranian centrifuges in 2010. Israel has never confirmed this either. The Mossad does not confirm, it does not deny, it simply continues. KGB, the KGB no longer exists. What replaced it is in many ways more dangerous because it learned from every mistake the KGB ever made. The KGB, Komitet Государственной Безопасности, the Committee for State Security, was founded in 1954 under Nikita Khrushchev, inheriting the apparatus of Stalin's secret police and refining it into something more disciplined, more global, and more methodical. At its peak, it was the largest intelligence organization in human history. It ran foreign intelligence, domestic surveillance, border security, and political repression simultaneously, with officers embedded in every layer of Soviet society. During the Cold War, the KGB penetrated Western intelligence services at a level that is still not fully understood. They recruited assets inside the CIA, MI6, and the FBI. Some of those assets operated undetected for decades. Robert Henson, an FBI agent who passed secrets to Moscow for 22 years, was not caught by intelligence work. He was caught because the Russians told the Americans where to look, after they had already gotten everything they needed from him. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, the KGB was dissolved. Its foreign intelligence functions were transferred to a new agency, the SVR. Its domestic and counterintelligence functions became the FSB. Vladimir Putin, a former KGB officer who had served in East Germany, rose through the FSB to become its director in 1998. 2 years later, he was president of Russia. The FSB has been linked to the poisoning of Alexander Litvinenko in London in 2006, the poisoning of Sergei Skripal in Salisbury in 2018, and the systematic targeting of Russian dissidents across Europe. In each case, Moscow denied involvement. In each case, the evidence pointed in one direction. The KGB is gone. The instinct that built it never left. DGSE, Direction Générale de la Sécurité Extérieure. France does not advertise its intelligence capabilities. It does not need to. It was established in 1982 under President François Mitterrand, replacing a fragmented collection of Cold War-era services that had become too divided to function effectively. The DGSE was built to consolidate everything: foreign intelligence, counterterrorism, signals interception, and covert action, under a single structure answerable directly to the French military. What most people don't know about France is that it maintains one of the most aggressive foreign intelligence postures of any Western democracy. The DGSE operates with a legal framework that gives it broad authority to conduct operations abroad without the parliamentary oversight that constrains agencies like the CIA or MI6. French law is explicit on this point. Actions conducted outside French territory fall under different rules. The DGSE has used that latitude extensively. Their most public failure came in 1985, when DGSE agents sank the Greenpeace vessel Rainbow Warrior in Auckland Harbour, New Zealand, killing one crew member. The ship had been preparing to protest French nuclear testing in the Pacific. 2 agents were arrested by New Zealand police. France initially denied all involvement, then admitted it when the evidence became impossible to contain. Their counterterrorism record tells a different story. Following a wave of attacks on French soil in the 1980s, and again after 2015, the DGSE dismantled multiple networks across North Africa and the Middle East, often before those networks had the chance to act. The operations that succeeded will never be named. The attacks that didn't happen will never be counted. France has nuclear weapons, a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, and an intelligence service with no obligation to explain itself to anyone outside Paris. That combination is not an accident. MSS, Ministry of State Security. China does not conduct intelligence operations the way Western agencies do. It does not need to move fast. It moves everywhere all at once, and it is patient in a way that most adversaries are not built to counter. The MSS was established in 1983, consolidating the intelligence and counterintelligence functions of the Chinese Communist Party into a single civilian agency. From the outside, it resembles a conventional foreign intelligence service. From the inside, it operates as an extension of the party itself, with no meaningful distinction between national interest and party interest. Because in China, those two things are the same. What makes the MSS different from every other agency on this list is scale. The CIA recruits assets. The MSS recruits communities. Chinese students, researchers, businesspeople, and diaspora members in dozens of countries have been approached, pressured, or cultivated as sources, not because they are spies by profession, but because the MSS operates on the understanding that information exists everywhere and that everyone is a potential access point. Their cyber operations are the most extensive of any state actor on Earth. Between 2006 and 2018, MSS-linked groups systematically penetrated the networks of aerospace companies, defense contractors, universities, and government agencies across the United States, Europe, and Australia. In many cases, the intrusions were not discovered for years. In some cases, the full extent of what was taken is still unknown. In 2015, the United States Office of Personnel Management was breached. 21 million security clearance files were stolen. Names, addresses, financial histories, and personal vulnerabilities of American intelligence personnel and federal employees. The MSS has never been formally charged. The files have never been returned. China plays a longer game than any other power on Earth. The MSS is how that game is played.